missing and unsolved. Kansas missing and unsolved. Kansas missing and unsolved.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Kmu Live Podcast. I'm your host, Ricky Jabruggi, and joining me down there is Eric Relaford. How you doing, Derek?
Pretty good, man. How you doing?
Better than last week.
Yeah, man. Explain what happened. I just got a text from you. Honestly, the text you sent me, I could tell you were kind of out of it.
Yeah, I was at the laundromat doing laundry with my younger daughter, and I'm glad she was there. We were close to being done and getting ready to pack up to head out, and I had a hypoglycemic episode hit me, and it hit me pretty darn hard. And I had to have her get me something out of the vending machine because my hands were shaking so bad and that I couldn't hold them still. So yeah, I ate some Pop-Tarts and after I ate those and sat there for a little bit, everything started leveling out. And by the time it was all said and done, I was just wiped out. I couldn't hardly function after that. So I had her drive home because I was in no shape to do it. So she drove home, and I come in and laid down, and that was it for me.
How often does that happen to you, the hypoglycemia stuff?
Not too darn often. I mean, I don't even know why this one hit. It was so weird. Everything was going fine. I was doing fine, doing laundry, getting things switched and folded and stuff. And just like I said, we were getting ready to load up to leave, and boom, lowered the boom on me real quick. So I don't know. But I'm just glad that's done. I mean, it happens every once in a blue moon. I don't know what triggers it. I know I used to have a lot of problems with it when I would eat white bread, because white bread is just basically, it turns to sugar when you eat it.
Yeah.
In my situation, what it does is it spikes my blood sugar, and then it'll drop real fast, and that's what causes my problems, is when it spikes and then it drops. So
yeah,
it wiped me out pretty darn bad.
Well, I'm glad you're okay, man. Any updates on your surgery? They have any idea what you're gonna do when your surgery's gonna be, or
nothing yet? I'm still waiting to find out. I'm still trying to get my dental situation straightened out, and supposed to have it done a week ago this last Friday, and the clinic that I was going to, we don't take your insurance. I was, oh, nice. And they wanted $470 up front, and I'm just like, good gosh. Like, what in the world?
Well,
insurance is supposed to be such a great thing.
You and me are kind of in the same situation. I had to go to the doctor this last week because I had some really high blood sugar and stuff, and they tested me for a bunch of stuff to make sure I didn't have anything super scary. And
right,
basically, I'm on like a new regimen. I got some new stuff, but basically, I've been having some dental issues as well, man. Like, that's one thing about, well, I think there's a lot of countries that don't care about their teeth, or maybe that's just like something like movies say, but like in America, like most people care about their teeth, but it's so expensive. I was talking to my buddy yesterday when we were filming on this location by his house, and I was talking to him about teeth stuff. Anytime you go to the dentist, they're just like, oh, you got a bad tooth? Okay, well, we can fix it for $4,600, or we can yank it out for $9. And you're just like, okay, just take the tooth. Like I don't have $4,200 to fix a tooth. It's crazy.
Wow. That is insane. Wow. I'm so tired of insurance and stuff. My insurance is through Healthcare Marketplace, formerly known as Obamacare. The medical part of it doesn't seem to be too bad, but the dental part is a joke. The only part about the medical that I didn't like was when they wanted to do the echocardiogram. They got this whole ball rolling with my heart, and the insurance company didn't want to pay it. They were like, oh, it's not a medical necessity. I'm like, excuse me? How is a test to make sure your heart is functioning properly not a medical necessity? But they finally relented and paid for it, and then that started the ball rolling. So here's where we're at now.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we can both get our health underway. and stick around as
Yeah.
long as possible, because I don't think that the missing persons situation is going to get any better. Seems like every day there's more and more people missing. Plus, it's getting cold.
Yeah.
It's supposed to get really
Yeah.
windy and nasty. So
Yeah, and I do, and I think I mentioned it the last show we did, but I am definitely going to have to move. The new owners of the buildings that bought these buildings and the building next door, they're giving us 5 months to vacate, which is right around May. But I'm hoping to be moved in March, but we'll see.
That's no good, man. Well,
Yeah, I
hopefully
know.
you all can get moved over, and
Yeah,
at least it's 5 months. It could have been
yeah.
like 2 months. 5 months is
Oh,
at least a
no.
decent amount of time to figure something out, but that's not good.
Yeah. Yep. So,
Ray
yeah.
Donauer is in Tribune this evening. I like that town.
Yeah. And I believe Ray, if I'm not mistaken, is a family member of Kyle Neugebauer's, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
So let's see, Kyle Neugebauer. This is actually the 1 year anniversary of his disappearance. He went missing from Wichita, Kansas on December 17th last year, 2024. He's 26 when he went missing. He's now 27, 6 foot tall, 155 pounds, brown hair and brown eyes. He was last seen near 143rd and Highway 254 in Wichita. And he was 26 when he went missing. He's now 27, 6 foot tall, 155 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. He does have a tattoo of the date 11/16/2018 on his inner left forearm. You can see the picture of it down there below. He was last seen wearing a black Carhartt jacket, jogging pants, and tennis shoes. If you have any information regarding Kyle's disappearance, you know of his whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-268-4181 or 316-268-4111 or 316-263-6011 or KBI at 785-296-4017. And see, yeah, Ray is his stepmother. Okay, cool. And see what we can do to help get him located. I know they just did a 1 year piece on KWCH a couple nights ago, and I did watch the video of that and read the story about it. I'm going to link that to his flyer so people can check that out. I might even post it as a standalone so people can check it out too. Because, yeah, it's been a year, and I know his family, the video when I watched it, his family was basically saying, they realize at this point they may just be getting bones back, but they would, if that's the case, they would still like to get them back so they can lay them to rest properly, if it comes to that. But they just want to find him. So we'll see what we can do. And there's justice for Cynthia Renee Gonzalez, a.k.a. Heather Berry.
Nice.
How you doing, Heather? And darn it, Heather, I forgot to get that case included on tonight's show that you wanted. Darn it. I'll have to get that on the next show. I haven't even got the flyer done yet. Last couple of days, I have been making flyers, updating flyers, resharing flyers. It's been a hectic couple of days. It's been nuts. I don't know if it's in the weather or what, but this is one that I just did, I believe last night. Austin Archer. He is missing from Pratt, Kansas since December 13th, 2025. He's 26, 5'6", 230 pounds, red hair, brown eyes. There are no known vehicles associated with Austin. And at this point, there was no known direction of travel. And he's 26, 5'6", 230 pounds, red hair, brown eyes. He has a red beard and he does wear eyeglasses. And at this time, there is concern for Austin's well-being. That was taken directly from the Pratt, Kansas Police Department's Facebook. If you have any information regarding Austin's disappearance, you know of his whereabouts, please call the Pratt, Kansas Police Department immediately at 620-672-5551 or call the KBI at 785-296-4017. See what we can do to get Austin located and back home to his family.
$26.
Yeah.
Pretty young.
Yep. And we're going to revisit one of the ones we've been covering for quite a while. Haley Davis missing from here in Salina, Kansas since July 21st, 2023. She was 19 when she went missing. She's now 21, 5'6" to 5'7", weighs between 190 and 200 pounds. Her hair was last known to be dyed bleach blonde. She has blue eyes. She left Salina, Kansas with a male acquaintance to go to Wichita, and she was last active on her social media and last heard from on July 21st, 2023. Wichita police say the investigation has led them to believe that Haley may be deceased. And she was 19 when she went missing. She'd be now 21, 5'6" to 5'7", weighs between 190 and 200 pounds. Her hair was last known to be dyed bleach blonde, and she has blue eyes. If you have any information regarding Haley's disappearance, you know of her whereabouts, or the location of her remains, please call Detective Owen at 316-268-4185, or you can email aowen@wichita.gov. To remain anonymous, please contact Crime Stoppers at 316-267-2111 or KBI at 785-296-4017 or 1-800-572-7463, or you can scan that Crime Stoppers QR code in the banner down there, and it'll take you to a form on the Crime Stoppers website you can fill out and submit information that way. And see what we can do to get Haley located and back home to her folks and her family. It's been long enough. And what's Cynthia saying? Cynthia Gonzalez's page saying update on Cynthia's case. Her daughter will be flown to New York to be on the Tamron Hall show the 1st of January. Cool.
Oh, wow.
Cool.
I like seeing all these updates lately on some of these cold cases.
Oh, I know. Hopefully we'll get some updates on some of these cases pretty soon. But so far, it's just been quiet as a church mouse. Like with Lori's case, it's another one, just absolutely quiet, nothing. Lori Heimer was brutally stabbed in her rural Area, Kansas home on June 25th, 2016. She ran her business, Lori's Poodle Patch, from her home. She was a licensed breeder of miniature-sized poodles and was licensed through the state of Kansas. KBI was contacted to assist Saline County Sheriff's Office in the investigation. They responded with agents and their crime scene response team, and during the investigation, 2 vehicles of interest were developed. Vehicle 1 was said to be an older flatbed pickup truck, possibly a Chevrolet, which is described as beat up, maroon in color with a white front bumper, silver grille, and wide-style side mirrors. Driver was described as a man who was 50 years of age or older with salt and pepper hair. Vehicle number 2 was an older style small pickup truck, possibly a Chevrolet S10 with a 2-tone paint job, dark blue on the top and bottom with light blue in the middle, a silver back bumper, and a newer blue tailgate that appeared to have minimal damage when compared to the body of the truck. The remainder of the vehicle is described as beat up and scratched up, and there may have been 2 animal cages or crates in the back. Driver of this vehicle was described as a white male, approximately 40 years of age, with shoulder-length hair and wearing glasses. Investigators have said they would like to locate these 2 vehicles. They would also like to speak to anyone that had any contact or a business appointment with Lori at any time between June 20th and June 25th, 2016. If you have any information regarding the homicide of Lori J. Heimer, please call the Saline County, Kansas Sheriff's Office at 785-826-6500 or KBI at 1-800-572-7463. And there is a reward of $37,500 being offered for information that leads to the arrest and conviction of the person or persons responsible for Lori's murder. So let's see what we can do to get some information generated to help the investigators move forward with this investigation. And I mean, here it is 9 years later and still nothing. And Christopher Enver is saying, thank you for doing Austin's flyer. You're very welcome, Christopher. And how you doing, Esther? Who else we got in here tonight? Ellen, how you doing?
A lot of people.
I think Queenie got confused because she popped in last night and said, you coming? And I'm like, not till tomorrow night.
Right.
Yeah, this is Ian Shelton. I haven't heard any updates on his case quite yet, but he's missing from Sedgwick County, Kansas. Oh, excuse me, I have. Sedgwick County Sheriff's Department says they've wrapped up their search for him at this point. Anyway, missing since December 2nd, 2025, 30 years old, 5'8", 165 pounds, brown hair, blue eyes. I did recently add this video image on the right-hand side of him taken at Lake Afton. He was last seen leaving Let's Roll Seneca Bowling Alley at 1909 South Seneca in Wichita in a white Mazda 2012 Mazda Miata, Kansas tag 8898ALH, which has since been recovered. Ian still remains missing. Their surveillance video confirms that Ian was at Lake Afton approximately 2:12 a.m. on Wednesday, December 3rd, 2025. Okay, again, he's 30. He's 5'8", 165 pounds, brown hair, blue eyes. He's seen wearing a gray zip-up hooded sweatshirt, black T-shirt, and white with a white image on the front, which you can see that all in the video, or the shot from the video there. Blue jeans and white Nike shoes. If you have any information regarding Ian's disappearance, or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Sedgwick County, Kansas Sheriff's Office at 316-660-5300 or 316-263-6011 or KBI at 785-296-4017 and see what we can do to get Ian located and back to where he needs to be. Guess he went up to the lake with his girlfriend and then he got out of the car, went walking, didn't come back. She went looking for him, couldn't find him. So I don't know. That was one of the versions I'd heard. I'm not sure how accurate that was, but everything I have on the flyer is accurate now. And Esther, you're very welcome for covering Austin's case as well. Hopefully it'll help get him located.
Yeah.
Beverly Ward. I decided to dig out an old one. I was looking through her stuff the other day and thought, you know what, we haven't covered her in a long while. This is Beverly Ward, missing from from Junction City, Kansas. I don't got Topeka on the brain there. Since July 4th, 1978. She was 13 when she was missing. She would now be 60. I have an age progression photo up there to 53 years old. They haven't done another one since that one. So she was 4'8", 54 pounds, black hair, brown eyes when she went missing. A young friend was staying over on the night she disappeared and was sleeping in another bed in the same room. In the early morning hours, most of Beverly's family, as well as her friend, woke up and went to the front door to watch a disturbance across the street. They thought Beverly was with them, but once the commotion was over, they realized she was gone. The screen had been cut and removed from the bedroom window. It was lying about 10 feet from the house. None of Beverly's clothes were missing, and $12 she was saving for an upcoming trip to camp was left behind. Authorities believe someone removed her from the bedroom between 3 and 5 in the morning. She was wearing a green nightgown when she disappeared. She was also wearing blue underwear, I guess. She was born with an extra bone in her middle finger, which looks like a partial finger. She has moles on her face and a mark on her chest. None of Beverly's family members are considered suspects in her case, but little information is available regarding her apparent abduction. If you have any information on Beverly's disappearance, please call the Junction City, Kansas Police Department at 785-762-5912. To give information anonymously, visit crimestoppers.com. To send tips through the web or text tip JC, followed by the information to be given. Send text to crime 27463. I'm missing a number in there. Or call KBI at 785-296-4017. And see what we can do to get Beverly located and back to where she needs to be. That one photo I have on the flyer, we don't see much of her face. That second from the left there. I found a newspaper version of that same photo, but it's the full headshot. But it's very bad quality. I thought about using it, and I thought, it's not. The quality is pretty bad. You can't see her face as well as you can with that one.
Ask me about it off air. I think I have a way for you to get some of those photos that are bad quality cleaned up.
Do you? Okay. I'll talk to you about that after the show. Okay.
Yeah, I've had some people reach out to me and ask me to help clean up photos, and I'm not very good at it. And it made me look into other ways, and there's a lot of ways to get that stuff cleaned up for free from people that are like, especially with your kind of content, they would be willing to. Yeah, just ask me off air.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, let's go ahead and do a transition. Next week, while we're doing this transition, obviously we'll be pretty close to the holidays. What are our plans on that? Yeah.
I'm off that day, I think. Yeah, I'm off that day, so I'm not sure.
I will more than likely be out of town. Norm is talking about maybe doing a Tuesday show, so if you want to maybe do something on. Oh no! Norm is thinking about doing a show on the 30th. For sure. So a Tuesday, because the 31st would be New Year's Eve, you know. So if we do end up not doing a show next week, we should maybe think about doing it on the 30th,
Okay.
the following week. If you're off, we can do it Wednesday, whatever. But just something to think about. And next week is, you know, a holiday, and we hope everybody has a safe and fun holiday. You know?
Okay. Let's see here. Oh, Heather was also saying that Cynthia Gonzalez's daughter has also done a 3-day interview with ABC Nightline. Will be aired January 5th or 6th. Friday, she did an episode interview with Insider Edition. One of those two shows, I believe. The Insider Edition is wanting to make Cynthia's story into a series in the works. Hey, that's cool.
Oh, wow.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
There are quite a few teens on this show this week. I think there's like 11, maybe, I think. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And this one's Jonathan Morris, missing out of Junction City, Kansas. Another Junction City case, only a recent one. Missing since December 6th of this year. He's 17, 5'3", 140 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. So last seen about 4:15 that afternoon. He's last seen leaving his home with a friend. He does not have his cell phone with him. He may be trying to get to Pittsburgh, Kansas. Again, he's 17, 5'3", 140 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. Last seen wearing a gray hoodie, red beanie, white skinny jeans, and red and white shoes. If you have any information regarding Jonathan's disappearance, you know of his whereabouts, please call the Junction City, Kansas Police Department at 785-762-5912 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. And see what we can do to get Jonathan located and back to where he needs to be. Yesterday, I added a photo on the right-hand side of the flyer. So see if that may help get him located and back to where he needs to be. And Heather's saying, yes, it is cool. She hopes he gets presidential recognition to help solve other cases. Yeah, that'd be all right. That would be all right. This is Tatiera Altman. She is missing from Wichita, Kansas since December 7th this year. She's 16, 5 foot tall, 180 pounds, brown hair, blue eyes. She does wear eyeglasses, and she goes by Tati. Her nose is pierced twice, once in the left nostril, once in the right nostril. She has a gold hoop with a dangly hanging from it in her left nostril. Tatiera has the below pictured tattoo on her right forearm. It says your wings were ready, but my heart was not, and it has the dates 12/31/33 to 4/2/20. I'm guessing that must have been a grandparent of some, but those kind of dates. If you have any information regarding Tatiera's disappearance, you know of her whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9456 or 316-660-9254 or 316-263-6011 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. And let's see what we can do to get Tatiera located and back to where she needs to be. Before we sign off tonight on the show, I do want to pull up the missing persons statute and talk about a couple things real quick too before we cut it off. But yeah. All right. And this is Tess Chance. As you can see, I've added quite a few more pictures of her to her flyer. Thank you to her dad for supplying those to me. I've had a chance to visit with him over about a week ago. Him and I visited for a bit in Messenger and stuff. He sent me the pictures and gave me some insight into kind of what's going on with her. But this is Tess Chance, missing from Wichita, Kansas since December 3rd, 2024. 16 when she was missing. She's now 17, 5'1", weighs between 100 and 110 pounds, blonde hair, hazel eyes. Believed that she may be in the Winter Park, Orlando, Florida area. And the reason being is he had received a letter from her from that area. It was postmarked from that area. Basically, she just, wants to be out there on her own until she's 18, and she said she'll come back. So, when she went missing, she was 16. She's now 17, 5'1", weighs between 100 and 110 pounds, blonde hair and hazel eyes. Her septum is pierced, as you can see in some of those photos there. Got that hoop going through the septum. You have any information regarding Tessa's disappearance? You know her whereabouts. Please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9254. Gosh darn. Or 316-660-9456. Or 316-263-6011. Or the KBI at 785-296-4017. And see if we can do to get Tess located and back home to where she needs to be. You know, like I've always said, especially with these repeat runners, you know, I don't care how many times they run, I'm going to continue to put flyers up until one of us gets tired. And it's not going to be me. I promise you that. And as proof with Kmu Carrico, I've already done 10 flyers for her already. So 10 or 11. You see, this is Lexi Barlow. And how is that? I always managed to miss one flyer when I'm pulling flyers. Let me grab her flyer real fast.
You tried your best. You did pretty good.
Two shakes. Because I do want to cover her again because she has ran before. She was located. Now she's missing again.
Yeah.
And pulling it right this second. And I was told KBI has her down as Alexis Barlow. And I always known her as to be Lexi, so I just figure Lexi was a shorter nickname for Alexis, but I was told that it's legally Lexi, so I need to make that correction. So somehow KBI got that wrong. But she's missing from Wichita, Kansas since December 8th, 2025. She's 14, 5'4", 120 pounds. Her hair was last known to be dyed black and blue eyes. Don't have much more than that, but if you have any information regarding Lexi's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9254 or 316-660-9456 or 316-263-6011 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see what we can do to get Lexi located and back to where she needs to be. All right.
Now we have
Dominant Smith. I wonder if he is. No. He is missing from Kansas City, Kansas since December 10th, 2025. He's 15, 5'7", 250 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. Don't have much more than that, but if you have any information regarding Dominant's disappearance, so you know of his whereabouts, please call the Kansas City, Kansas Police Department at 913-596-3000 or the KBI is 785-296-4017 and see if we can't get Dominant located and back to where he needs to be.
short flyer on that one, huh?
Yeah, some of these
a lot of these ones are always short whenever they're missing teens.
Yeah, a lot of times there's just not a lot out there on them. This is Sanaya Griffin, missing from Wichita, Kansas since December 5th, 2025. She's 15, 5'1", 115 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. The right side of her nose is pierced. Got a little stud piercing going on there. If you have any information regarding Sanaya's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department, 316-660-9254 or 316-660-9456 or 316-263-6011 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see what we can do to get Sanaya located and back to where she needs to be.
Wow. Wichita.
Yeah. Another one, Caitlin Spann. It's another Wichita one, too. Let's see, where's her flyer? No, I pulled it. There it is, way up there. Okay. Missing from Wichita, Kansas since December 10th, 2025. She's 15, 5'2", 125 pounds, blonde hair, blue-green eyes. She does have some severe mental health concerns, and she's without her needed medication. And she's 15, 5'2", 125 pounds, blonde hair, blue-green eyes. She has a nose piercing in her left nostril, which you can see up there in some of those photos there. you have any information regarding Caitlin's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call 911 immediately or call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9254 or 316-660-9456 or 316-263-6011 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can get Caitlin located and back to where she needs to be. Now, Wichita Police Department has their own division to handle the juvenile runaways. They call it the Exploited Missing Children's Unit, or EMCU. And I bet you I know they keep pretty darn busy. This is McKenna Wade. Let's see here, where you hiding at in my list? Well, it looks like I'm gonna have to grab hers. Hang on. Oh, gosh. I went through and double checked all this before the show, and I still managed to miss a couple. Man, I guess that's what happens when you have so many.
Yeah.
Let's see where she's missing from here. I think she's missing from Great Bend, I believe. If I am not mistaken. Nope, Kansas City, Kansas. Sorry. Missing since November 30th, 2025. She's 17, 5'5", 140 pounds. Brown hair. It was last known to be dyed black and purple. I believe the purple is on the top. And she has brown eyes. And she has a bridge piercing in the bridge of her nose, hoop piercings in each nostril, a vertical eyebrow piercing in her left eyebrow, and an anti-eyebrow or surface piercing under her right eye, and snakebite piercings in her lower lip. And thank you to my 19-year-old daughter for helping me identify all those piercings. She's the one to help me identify them all. Right. If you have any information regarding McKenna's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call the Kansas City, Kansas Police Department at 913-596-3000 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can get McKenna located and back to where she needs to be. Yeah, my younger daughter's really into piercings, so it helps.
Yeah.
I can just send her a picture and say, hey, tell me what these piercings are, and she'll do it.
I wouldn't know.
Let's see what Heather's saying over here. So I'm in the works of getting an iTablet to my work going again on the internet. I'm playing around with the thought of starting something like helping cold case families and making websites or blogs to help them solve their cases. Any ideas, guys? And I really hope someone doesn't steal my idea. LOL. I just jumped in and just did it. I started with a couple other pages first, actually, before I started doing Kansas Missing and Unsolved. I worked with a gal that actually taught me how to make flyers and with her missing children's albums. And I worked with another one that was PPP Recovery doing their flyers. And then it was while I was doing both of those that I finally decided I wanted to do my own thing. And I just started doing a lot of research on the internet with, seeing what kind of websites were out there that had information on Kansas missing and unsolved cases. And there wasn't, like anything like what I'm doing just for Kansas. So I started it and launched it almost 14 years ago now. And then there was another group that was trying to do a Facebook page for each state. And they started kind of hassling me for a little bit. This was early on. And kept telling me I needed to shut my page down and quit doing it because I was going to interfere with investigations and this, that, and the other. And I was like, nah, I know what you're trying to do. You just want to be the big dog on the block and don't have any competition or whatever. But right. I was like, I'm not going to stop doing what I'm doing. I'm going to keep doing it to help these families out. And I don't know. I haven't seen much of their pages in recent years, but mine's still blossoming and growing. So I must be doing something right.
I think you are, man. I think you're doing good stuff. And I don't know. I had somebody reach out to me the other day and they were like, hey, I want to start making content. How do you get people to pay attention? And I was like, I don't know. I was like, I I don't know. I think like with your what you do and with my what I kind of do is talk about like the area I'm from and say I
Right.
think that if you have to basically, I'll be honest with you, you have to ask yourself, do you want to be famous or do you want to get some work done? Because if you want to get some work done, it's an awesome thing.
Mhm.
But like I don't know, it's I think when it comes to putting out content into the world and doing stuff, I think you have to kind of remove yourself from it. Like this show has nothing to do with me or Ricky. We'll talk about like we talk about Ricky's health stuff, but like
Yeah.
these cases, we're literally just trying to show people these flyers, these faces, so people, if you see them, you can call in and like we're just like Ricky says, he's a vessel for God. Like it's we're just showing that there's a problem. We're trying to help, and so if you want to do like content and stuff, I would say find something that you think is awesome and that you believe in, and just run towards it and try to leave yourself out of it as much as possible.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've expanded a lot too. I mean, not long after I launched the Facebook, I started doing it on Twitter and still do it on Twitter. And then I can't remember how many months ago, I think it was early this year, with the launch of Blue Sky, I started doing a page on Blue Sky. And so now it's on Blue Sky. So I've got Kansas Missing on Facebook, X, and used to be called Twitter, and now Blue Sky.
Yeah.
Blue Sky, I don't know if many people know much about Blue Sky, but Blue Sky is ran by the guy that used to own Twitter before Elon Musk bought it and turned it into X. So, and it's very much a lot like X or Twitter. But I figure, you know what? Another page, another outlet to get the word out and stuff. I don't have very many followers on there yet. I think like 35 is all I have on there right now, which is fine. I mean, it's a slow build, but that's okay.
It's a brand new
yeah.
app, yeah. So it's gonna be a little bit of growing pains for sure.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just one more way to get the flyers out in front of people's faces, so they know that there's these folks missing. And that's, remember what she said. Another said exactly what Derek is sharing. Not looking for recognition. Just trying to get these folks found and some of these unsolved murders solved. I mean, I will admit, over the course of the years, I have been on several news stations. I've been asked to be interviewed a few times. KWCH, KSN, WIBW, KMBC. They've all had me on their news channels interviewing me. I mean, and I think that's why I lost one of my helpers too, is because when I did the KMBC one, they wanted to do an interview. I'd done a flight, and I need to get it going again too. I didn't do it this fall, but I should go ahead and put it up anyway. But it's just encouraging hunters to be observant when they're out there hunting, to look for things that, that look out of the ordinary in a hunting setting, like discarded clothes or something, because they may be stumbling onto human remains or something. And, be wary of that, because hunters have found remains of people before. And KMBC wanted to do an interview about that. And so we drove to Kansas City to do that. And the gal, the one helper that I lost, was wanting me to mention her name on the air, because she wanted her family to hear her name on the news, which I understood. But I said, well, I'll ask and see if I can. And we got there, and I asked the gal before we started the interview, I said, can I mention my helpers, because they're a big help to what I do? And she basically said no. She said, you're the face of it, and only people are going to know who you are. They're not going to know who they are. And so she wouldn't let me mention them. And
yeah.
And I told her that after the fact, and she didn't like that. And not long after, she parted ways with me. And I was like, tried to tell her, I said, it's not about us as individuals. It's about what we're doing collectively to help bring folks home and stuff like that. It's not about us.
One of my biggest pet peeves is like you and I did solve one of the remember that night that kid was watching a show and he turned himself in, like, so like honestly,
wild.
One time that happened, but it was so cool. But like I hate whenever you see like YouTubers or just content creators cover a case, and then the case, like there's like an arrest or something, and then they start going on the internet like, we solved it. I'm like, no, you no, you. There's been like occasionally like a podcast that'll solve a crime, but for essentially it's like it's good to have have people paying attention to a case, especially if it's unsolved and everything. But at the end of the day, like, I don't know, like, no, it's not about us at all. None
Yeah,
of us, we don't solve anything. We
yeah,
just
that was wild
educate.
though, because I don't remember if we had covered his case yet or not on the show that night, but I know we had him on the lineup for that night, and all of a sudden he starts commenting on the comments, and you start talking to him about needing to I think he was 17 at the time, and you were telling him, hey, you just need to get your head back in there and do what you need to do, and you'll be 18 soon, you'll be out of there soon, and he started commenting about how he had called the police department to have him come out, and they came out, and he sent him in the police car, and I typed up I had my laptop sitting here, and I typed up on there and looked, and they had taken him off KBI, and a little while later I got a verification email saying he had actually turned himself in. So that was pretty cool. I wish we could isolate that part of that show, just that part.
I have it somewhere on a hard drive. I'll find it for you. I have that.
Yeah. Okay.
I had done that a while back.
Yeah, that was really cool. And we haven't had anything happen like that since, but I mean, I've had multiple teenagers comment on their flyers, like Kmu Kariko did on the last flyer that I put up for her, which thankfully she's been located safe. But she was commenting like crazy on her last flyer, just basically saying stuff like she was safe and she was where she was needing to be, and she was eating and healthy and this and that and the other and stuff like that. But thankfully, like I said, she was found, and hopefully she stays put. If she really needs to. And what's Christopher saying over here? I have a friend that's watching your show, Ricky and Derek. She thinks it's awesome that there's someone in Kansas that covers these cases. Well, awesome. I'm glad she thinks that. I appreciate that. And they're saying my apologies for getting off track of the show. You're fine. You're fine. Not a problem. Go back to Jasir because we haven't covered Jasir yet.
Oh, we have not. Okay. Let me go back.
Yeah, we haven't done him yet. So go back to him.
We were gabbing. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. That's Jasir Johnson. He's missing from Douglas County, Kansas since October 21st of this year. He's 16, 5'5", 160 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. Don't have much more than that. If you have any information regarding Jasir's disappearance, of his whereabouts, please call the Douglas County, Kansas Sheriff's Office at 785-843-0250 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can get Jasir located and back to where he needs to be. And a list of a few flyers that was sent to me reminding me that they were still living, so I thought I would get him back on the show again and see if we can help get him found. And this one's Bria Ingram, which we've covered her before, but it's been a long while. She's been missing from Topeka, Kansas since September 5th, 2025. She's 17, 5'6", weighs between 140 and 145 pounds. Hair was last known to be dyed black and blue eyes. Looks like she's got a hoop piercing on the right side of her nose there. If you have any information regarding Bria's disappearance, her whereabouts, please call the Topeka, Kansas Police Department at 785-368-9200 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. See if we can get Bria located and back to where she needs to be. So I'll see what we can do there.
Youngster.
And this young lady's been missing for quite some time. She was on my list that I was emailed the other night. And I thought, you know what? She needs to be covered again. And I was actually able to update it to where her age now is 17 because she was 16 when she was missing. This is Andrea Revels, missing from Arkansas City, Kansas. Yes, here in Kansas, they call it Arkansas instead of Arkansas. Missing since December 2nd, 2024. 16 when she was missing. She's now 17. 5'4", 125 to 140 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. I believe she may be in the Topeka, Kansas area. Again, she was 16 when she was missing. She's now 17, 5'4", weighs between 125 and 140 pounds, has brown hair and brown eyes. And she too has a nose piercing, looks like on the right side as well. If you have any information regarding Andrea's disappearance, or her whereabouts, please call the Arkansas City, Kansas Police Department. It's 620-441-4444 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. and see if we can get Andrea located and back to where she needs to be. It's been over a year now, so we're coming up on a year and a half. Well, a year and a month. So we need to get her located and back to where she needs to be. It's been quite a while. Hopefully she's out there okay, but we need to find out for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to jump to out of state. There's only a few of those, so
yeah,
not too many. And this is one that I just did recently. Jonna Hobbs. That's not the right flyer, you doorknob. That's my new saying, calling people doorknobs because they deserve it, because it means they have about the same common sense as a common everyday doorknob. And some people will say, well, doorknobs don't have common sense. Exactly. Okay, this is Jonna Hobbs, missing from Grandview, Missouri since November 25th, 2025. She's 29, 5 foot tall, 200 pounds, blonde hair, green eyes. She may use the name Mackenzie. It's believed she may be experiencing mental health challenges. She was last seen in the area of Booth Manor in Grandview, and she's 29, 5 foot tall, 200 pounds, blonde hair, green eyes. If you have any information regarding Jonna's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call 911 immediately. Call the Grandview, Missouri Police Department at 816-316-4985 or the Missouri State Highway Patrol at 573-526-6178 or 866-362-6422. And let's see what we can do to get Jonna located and back to where she needs to be. And Dana. Any new updates about the lady that was murdered out by Syria? I'm assuming you're talking about Lori Heimer, and nothing new to report on her case at all. I wish there was. But like I was saying earlier, when we covered her case, it's been quiet as a church mouse. So hopefully, continue to share a flyer and it'll get, shake those bushes up some and get something shaken loose and out there so we can get it moving forward, I hope. But this is Dana Jane Bruce, missing from Sedalia, Missouri since October 4th, 2008. 23 when she was missing. She's now 40, 5'2", 98 pounds, brown hair, green or hazel eyes. She was last seen at her children's babysitter's home in Sedalia. She had left the children there earlier that day so she could go out for the evening. She returned at midnight and gave the babysitter more money and asked her to watch the children for the rest of the night. She was last seen at Malone's Bar on Main Street with a young man driving a late model red Ford F-150 truck earlier on the night of her disappearance. She left with that man at 11:30 p.m. Police have identified the man that Dana was with that night. He had traveled to Atlanta, Georgia after her disappearance. And police questioned him about Dana after he was arrested there on unrelated charges of marijuana possession and driving on a suspended license. Authorities have not named him publicly, but they are calling him a person of interest in her case. Told his questioners that he and Dana parted ways after they left the bar, and he never saw her after that. She left all of her belongings behind, including her hairbrush and toothbrush. She does not have credit cards, debit cards, checking account, cell phone, or a car. And when she went missing, she was 23. She would now be 40. 5'2", weighs 98 pounds, has brown hair that was colored brown at the roots and black at the ends with red highlights and green or hazel eyes. Dana was last known to be wearing a black shirt with the word Rebel and silver lettering on the front and blue jeans. She has a tattoo of a teddy bear with wings and the name Dylan on her upper left arm. She's blind in her left eye. She has a 2-inch scar along her lower spine and a staple scar on her right shoulder. Her ears are pierced 1 time each. If you have any information regarding Dana's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call the Sedalia, Missouri Police Department. It's 660-827-7823 or 660-826-8100 or the Missouri State Highway Patrol at 573-526-6178 or 866-362-6422 or private investigator Leslie at 910-427-0070. And see what we can do to get Dana located and back home to her family. I know they would really like to have her home. So let's see what we can do to help that.
Mm-hmm.
And Ellen is saying, Ellen is Dana's aunt. Person of interest was actually driving a green truck, not a red truck.
Oh wow.
Dylan is the name of her son. Yep. And I've actually seen they had a vigil for Dana here not too awful long ago, and saw pictures from that. Ellen sent me pictures from it, and thank you for doing that. And some of those couple of the pictures with both Dana's son and daughter, and her son has been wearing in the shots I saw was wearing a long dark wig, and Ellen was telling me that he was doing that to look more like a female in hopes that somebody would open up to him about where his mom is. So it's really, he's taken, it's obvious it's hitting him pretty hard, and he wants to know where his mom is.
Yeah.
So see what we can do to help make that happen. And I think about those pictures all the time. And this one's Jeremiah Demetrius Moneta, missing from Ponca City, Oklahoma since January 17th, 2025. He's 22 when he was missing. He's now 23. I need to look and see if I need to change that. 5'9", 150 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. He had recently moved to Ponca City from Kansas City, Missouri. His bank account has not been touched, and his apartment showed no signs of disturbance. His cell phone was found in somebody else's possession, and his asthma inhaler that he never leaves behind was located on a stranger's porch. So that both of those two things to me are very disturbing. The fact that somebody else has his phone and an asthma inhaler that he doesn't leave anywhere was on somebody's porch. So that to me is very disturbing. Again, when he went missing, he was 22. He's now 23, 5'9", 150 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. He has facial hair and a Playboy bunny tattoo on his shoulder blade. He's last seen wearing a Kansas City Chiefs hoodie, jeans, and work boots. And I'm guessing the hoodie that he's wearing on the far right-hand photo is that Chiefs hoodie. If you have any information regarding Jeremiah's disappearance, you know of his whereabouts, please call the Ponca City, Oklahoma Police Department at 580-767-0370 or call the anonymous tip line at 580-762-5100. Or you can fill out, you can send the information in a text to PCPD plus your message to crimes 274637 from your cell phone. Or you can email your information into Crime Stoppers at poncacityoK.gov. And see what we can do to get Jeremiah located back to where he needs to be. And to me, that's just a pretty disturbing case when somebody else has somebody's phone and his asthma inhaler laying on somebody's porch and he never leaves the inhaler anywhere. I mean, that's pretty disturbing. Yeah. Yeah. Heather was asking Heather was asking if Dana was in a relationship then, and Ellen's saying no. So no, she wasn't. She was just out at the bar that night and hanging with somebody and went missing. So somebody knows something and they just need to speak up and say what it is they know. That's just the bottom line to that. And this is, I don't know if I'm going to say this right or not, but Nathalie D. Paguada Amaya. I hope I said that correctly. And if I did not, I apologize. She went missing from Kansas City, Missouri on October 2nd, 2025. So it's been over a couple months now. Last seen she's 15 when she went missing, 5'5", 150 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. She was last seen in the area of 7,000 block of East 111th Street in Kansas City, Missouri. And she was last seen wearing a red jacket, blue jeans, and black shoes. If you have any information regarding Nathalie's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call 911 immediately. Or call the Kansas City, Missouri Police Department at 816-234-5043 or 816-234-5111. Or Missouri State Highway Patrol at 573-526-6178 or 866-362-6422. And so we can do to get Nathalie located and back to where she needs to be. It's been almost 2.5 months. So let's see what we can do to get her found and back home. I often wonder when teens go missing for any length of time, where are they at? Who are they with? Are they being taken care of? Are they being treated okay? Or are they in a situation they shouldn't be in? I mean, it's just those things run through my mind, when they're gone for any length of time, or even if they go missing for a day or two, and then it turns into 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, a week, 2 weeks. The longer it goes, it's like, are they safe? Or, like I say, are they safe? Are they being taken care of? Are they being mistreated? Or are they being hurt? Those, I think about those things. And hopefully they're not. Hopefully they are okay. They're just being rebellious teens or whatever, but hopefully they're okay.
Yeah.
They just need to get back to where they need to be.
Good show, buddy.
Yeah. You want to pull up that statute real quick there?
Yeah. I forgot you were going to do that. We were going to talk about that.
Yeah, just briefly. I'm not going to go too deep, but just some things that I just want to touch on that just kind of a reminder for folks and things like that. Talk about both sides of it. What goes. Basically. This was. I'm gonna give you some background on the statute. Former Kansas District Attorney General Derek Schmidt enacted the statute in 2016, and I'm really glad he did. But basically, it just states that when any law enforcement agency in the state of Kansas or any political subdivision thereof shall accept and process without delay any report of a missing person by any person at any time, pursuant to all these statute numbers and stuff. So basically, it's saying it says all law enforcement agencies of the state of Kansas, every one of them. I don't care if it's police department, sheriff's office, any of them. Anytime they get a missing persons report, they have to file it. It says no law enforcement agency shall refuse or otherwise fail to accept a missing persons report for any reason, except when the law enforcement agency A knows the location of the person reported missing, B confirm the safe status of the person reported missing, or C has confirmed that another law enforcement agency has already completed a report on the missing person incident. So they unless they can, unless they know one of those three things, they have to file that report. The next part is they have to be entered into the missing person system of National Crime Information Center, or NCIC, and the missing and unidentified person system of the KBI, Kansas Bureau of Investigation, within 2 hours of the receipt of the minimum data required to enter a record into the system. So they've got very limited. It used to say when it originally came out, in a reasonable amount of time, and I can't think of the guy's name that come in and said, well, that gives them a little bit too much wiggle room. Let's say within 2 hours. So they changed that. That was the prior update before they added the KBI to it, because the KBI was added in 2020. So, I mean, it's pretty cut and dry. I mean, I still to this day will have a family member say, we've been trying. And one gal told me they even had to go as far as the mayor to finally get a missing persons report filed, which they shouldn't have to go that far because this statute says it all right here. I mean, they can't refuse it unless they know one of those three things.
Yeah.
So, and then the flip side that I wanted to talk about was Dennis from Muddy Waters got a hold of me earlier today about one that I updated a located safe that was missing at a Wichita. It was an adult female, and she had been found located safe. Wichita police put it on their Facebook. She was located safe, but apparently the woman's mom got a hold of him and said that she hasn't had contact with her daughter, and I guess wanted his help. And so he reached out to me and wanted to give me a heads up on it. And I told him, I said, well, Wichita Police Department put it on their Facebook page that she had unlocated safe. And she's been taken off KBI. So, apparently her case is, she's been located safe, case closed. And the other part I wanted to touch on is with adult. Okay, of course, with missing juveniles, when they go missing, when they're found, they have to be returned to whether it's their home, foster home, wherever they're from. Adults are a different story because, as they say, adults can go missing if they want to, which is true. but law enforcement still has to follow the statute. And the only difference with the adult is if when they find the adult, verify they're safe and okay. If that adult says, hey, I don't want my whereabouts known, all law enforcement can do is go back to the reporting party that reported that person missing and say, we've located them, we've checked on them, they're okay, they're unharmed, but they don't want their location known at this time. So they have been located, we're closing their case. I know that doesn't set well with a lot of families because they still haven't seen or talked to their family member. But as far as law enforcement is concerned, all they can do is say, hey, we found them. They're safe, unharmed. We have to close their case. So as far as law enforcement is concerned, they're located. I know families have a hard time with that because they want to see them. They want to talk to them. But like I say, as adults, if they tell the police they don't want their whereabouts known, police can't divulge that. So I know it's difficult, but that's just the way it is. And it's hard. It's hard for me because I know parents are like, but I haven't talked to him. I haven't seen him. It's like, I understand, but I can only do so much. And once police close that case, I can't keep the flyer up anymore. It has to be taken down. And I get to update another one to located safe after the show. Somebody we didn't cover because I was told they were located before the show started. So I took the flyer out. But yeah. So I have to update her to located safe, which I'm glad she is. But it's always good to see a located safe. I wish we could do located safe reels again, or at least pop a few of them up on screen anyway. That'd be fun to do again. But anyhow, I think that's all I need to talk about with the missing person statute. I just really like to remind people every once in a while that statute's still very much active, still very much on the books. You can find it on the Kansas legislature website. That's where I found it. That's for the screenshot when I had it up on screen, I took it directly from the legislature website. So it's there. But yeah. And I'll send it to family members when they say, hey, I'm getting static from law enforcement. I'll send it to them, say, show them this. And I've had several get back when they say I showed it to them and they filed it. So it's there. That's what it's there for. And some people will still ask me, do you have to wait 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours? No, you don't have to. You can do it right away. There is no waiting period anymore. That was done away with 9 years ago. So you think after 9 years, every law enforcement agency in the state would know that, but I don't know if it's just because they're newer officer or just small town stuff, or I don't know. I really don't know. But anyway, thank you everybody for joining us tonight and hanging out with us for a while. And we did go a little over an hour, didn't we? Oh well. Yeah, it was good to be back on the show again tonight. Sorry we weren't here last week, but I just that hypoglycemic episode it hit me like a ton of bricks just out of the blue. I didn't even usually I can feel them coming on gradually, but this one just slammed me. It was crazy. But anyway, with that being said, Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us together tonight so we can cover these cases and hopefully get these folks found and brought home safely. And if it's unfortunate enough they're no longer with us, at least find their earthly remains so they can be laid to rest properly, where somebody has a place to at least go and mourn them. At least, just pray that these flyers reach the right hearts, the right ears that will step up and do the right thing. Because I'm a firm believer that somebody knows something. Just a matter of being able to stand up and do the right thing. And I pray that we can touch somebody's heart to do the right thing. And until we see each other next week, everybody stay safe, stay healthy, and everybody have a Merry Christmas, and we'll see you next show. Have a good night.